Можно начинать? In English.
Hello, everyone. In this presentation, I will compare 4 project management tools for IT information technology, and more specifically for software development. And these 4 tools are Asana, Jira, Bugzilla, and trac. My name is Botchkina, and I'm a software engineer and project manager. And also I'm a former research scientist based at the University of California, San Francisco. And I live in New York currently, but my hometown is San Francisco, California. And let's start with a quick introduction to project management tools. There are actually lots of them, many commercial ones and actually many free ones as well. And this is beyond the scope of this presentation, but I will go just through some of them. So one of the most popular ones are, of course, Jira and Asana. Bugzilla and trac are the free open source ones that I will cover in this presentation. Also, I would like to mention Smartsheet and Project Locker, which is actually managed trac. And there is a long list of bug tracking tools and DevOps that can be found in this link, in this Wikipedia link. And also, it's worth mentioning that for many small projects, people successfully use free cloud tools such as Google Docs and Google Sheets, as well as Excel, of course. And also, there are many separate dedicated tools for other areas, such as IT service management, Zendesk, etc. DevOps, which is automation of development, testing, and release procedures. For managing sales, there's, of course, Salesforce. And also for agile enterprise management, there's PlanView, Digital AI, and others. And just to mention that, different people recommend different things, but I was looking for an authoritative source, and Forbes Advisor mentions 5 top best software for project management of 2023. And some of them I've never even heard of, but it's Monday.com, Airtable, ClickUp, Notion, Confluence, and Teamwork. And just very briefly, I'll mention tools that are similar to Jira: ClickUp, Binfire, Basecamp, Pivotal Tracker, Clubhouse, Trello, ProofHub, Kanbanize, Notion, Rike, Bittrex24, and Azure DevOps. Okay, so next is, here are the traditional ways of managing projects. And Lev actually made this slide, and I actually think the main point it boils down to is delegating tasks. Of course, Cinderella, they both are very well-known children's stories. And Cinderella was given a task of separating all kinds of seeds, nearly an impossible task, but she split it in smaller tasks and delegated all kinds of cute animals to do the work. And of course, the story of Tom Sawyer is that when he was given a huge task of painting a fence, he basically delegated to other boys. Well, not really delegated, but he made it sound so attractive that they ended up actually paying money for that. But of course, it's more of a joke, and this is not how it works in software development. And like I said, I will cover 4 project management tools used in software development, and 2 of them are commercial and very well known, and 2 of them are free and open source. And I actually will start with the one that was. I will start with an order in which they were released, and the oldest one is Bugzilla, and it was released in 1998. So this is the oldest ones of the 4 tools I will cover today. And it was created by Terry Weissman for Mozilla.org project, which is, of course, super famous open source project. And it was ported to Perl, so it was actually released in Perl. And it's a web-based bug tracking system. It's open source, and it's used by many open source organizations and some very, very famous ones, not just Mozilla Foundation, where it was introduced, but Linux, Apache, LibreOffice, and some other ones mentioned here on this slide. So next one is Jira, which was released in 2002 by these two Australian guys, Mike and Scott, who founded Atlassian. So Jira, so the company where Jira was founded is actually called Atlassian. There's no Jira as a company. So, and the name Atlassian is basically derived from ancient Greek mythology, from the Titan Atlas, who had been punished to hold up the heavens after the Greek gods had overthrown the Titans. And here's a little cartoon. So Atlassian started as a tech support service for software companies, and its first and flagship, most famous product, Jira, was released in 2002. And Jira was actually named after Gojira, which means Godzilla in Japanese. And another Jira actually, I mean, Atlassian actually has several popular tools, such as Confluence and Bitbucket and Trello and some others. And yeah, and it's a pretty large company with 9,000, or I should say, 9,000 employees. So next one is trac, which was released in 2004 and is open source, web-based bug tracking system. And it was the parent company that created trac is called Edgewell Software. And so it's actually based in Sweden. And here's two guys who created the software. And so trac can be integrated with Subversion and Git. And it's written in Python. And I will actually cover all of this in greater details as I get to next further slides. So this is just an overview. And next one is Asana, which was founded in 2008 by Dustin Moskovitz and Justin Rosenstein, that originally were at Facebook, and that's where they met. So Asana is based in San Francisco, and it's a smaller company with 1,700 employees. And so that was just an overview. And so what is actually a bug tracking system? So bug tracking systems are specifically meant for software development, and they allow teams of developers to effectively keep track of outstanding bugs, which simply mean defects, problems, issues, enhancement, new features, and other change requests. So Bugzilla and trac are free and open source, and they are specifically meant for bug and issue tracking for technical teams working on software development projects. And bug and issue tracking is a little bit different from project management. So project management is more broad and specific. And Jira is both bug and issue tracking system and project management software. Initially, when it was released, it was purely an issue tracking software targeted at software developers, but later it was adopted by non-IT companies as a project management tool. And so it's important to emphasize that Jira's primary focus is on agile software development, with features like Kanban and Scrum boards. And actually, Kanban and Scrum are just two agile methodology, specific agile methodologies, and I'll go into these details later in greater detail. So Jira is really an advanced tool with very extensive customizations options, integration options, and it has a steeper learning curve compared to Asana, which is a more general purpose project management tool and can be used for a wide range of projects and industries. And it has a very user-friendly and intuitive design, and it makes it easy for teams to get started and stay organized. So next slide. So here we will compare side to side those four. So again, Bugzilla and Trac are free and open source. So Bugzilla and both are bug tracking and issue management systems specifically. So Bugzilla, like I said, is written in Perl and is famous for being used by many important open source projects, Linux, Apache, Mozilla, and it's actually very feature rich and customizable. And its UI actually is a bit dated and not very intuitive, but it's still used by many organizations, and I will go into that later. And Trac is written in Python, and it has a wiki functionality, and it's kind of bare bones, but there are many plugins that can be set up, and it certainly requires some technical expertise to set it up. And then, so those were two free and open source tools, and then there are commercial ones. So it's Jira and Asana. So Jira is free up to 10 people. Oh, and like I said, Jira was released in 2002, and Asana is much newer and was released in 2012. Jira is free up to 10 people, and Asana is free up to 15 people. And then Jira is actually a lot less expensive. It's $7.75 per month per user. And Asana is $11 a month per user. If paid annually, if it's billed annually, and actually it's a lot more. It's $14, if I remember correctly, per month per user if it's billed monthly. So there is a big difference there, actually, which also makes it more important. More expensive than Jira. So Jira is both bug tracking tool and project management tool, and it's specifically meant for agile methodology, which is basically Scrum and Kanban. It's very customizable, very feature rich. It's very common for IT projects, and it has, like I said, it has a steeper learning curve than definitely than Asana. And Asana is it's actually project management tool and task tracking and team collaboration. And it can be used, certainly can be used for bug tracking, but it's not its primary goal. Also, many software developing teams use it, but Jira is definitely more specifically targeted to software development. Next slide. So here's just a more side-to-side comparison of Jira to Asana because they're more similar to each other. Yeah, so actually I already went through some of this information, and so interesting, just some interesting trivia here is that the name original, it was the name Jira was derived from a name Godzilla, or Gojira, which is Japanese for Godzilla. But the reason they thought of it is that these developers used to refer to Bugzilla, which was previously used internally in their company for bug tracking. So in an unexpected way, Jira is related to Bugzilla in that way. In 2019, Atlassian's value was $26 billion. And it has headquarters in Sydney, Australia, but also just recently it opened another headquarters in San Francisco, California. And with Asana, so just a little bit of a trivia. Some people call it Asana, some people call it Asana, even sometimes within the same company. So it's just a matter of preference, I guess. And when I was making this presentation, I kind of wanted to get to the bottom of it, which is more correct or more close to original Sanskrit word, which simply means a pose in yoga. And it turned out that it's neither, in Sanskrit, it's neither asana nor asana, but it's actually asana. So it's more definitely more of a personal preference, but I guess standard American pronunciation is asana. So and more history here. So it was founded in 2008, and the co-founders met at Facebook, where Moskovitz, interestingly, was Facebook co-founder and vice president of engineering. And Moskovitz and Rosenstein created a productivity tool called Tasks. And then it became it became Asana in some, well, obviously it was developed after that. And then Asana was launched commercially in 2012. And in 2020, it was valued at 5.5 billion following its direct listing. And its headquarters are in San Francisco, California. So now I will go over, let me just do a time check really quickly. Okay, so I will go just in a little bit more detail over each tool. So Bugzilla is free and open source. It's great for bug tracking, feature requests, patches, and code reviews. And it's actually a very robust, very featureful and mature bug tracking system. And it's actually packed with features that many expensive solutions lack, or at least so they claim. And actually there is a whole bunch of features that can be found at this link. Starting with custom fields, advanced search, custom email notifications, workflow management, security, and many others. And so it has lightweight implementation, and it's customizable, offers a lot of integration tools, and it's under active development and supported by a team and has a lot of community support. And like I said, originally was developed by the Mozilla project, but it's still used by Linux and Apache. And it's been adopted by many open source projects as their bug tracking system of choice. And actually, it is used by literally hundreds of thousands of organizations across the globe, and actually probably by more organizations than other tools mentioned in this presentation. And just a quick quote from Bugzilla. Bugzilla is both free from their website. Bugzilla is both free as in freedom and free as in price. Most commercial defect tracking software vendors charge enormous licensing fees. Despite being free, Bugzilla has many features which are lacking in both its expensive and its free counterparts. So it's a good advertisement for this free software. And it looks something like this, which is very simple and clean. And basically it's a list of issues, and it can be sorted by all those columns. And of course, when you click on it, there's a field that is open that has all kinds of comments and ways to connect with the code and everything else. So I won't go into that. And then next is, oops, for some reason, that's really weird. For some reason,
Well,
my page became unresponsive. Okay, I can't. That has never happened before. I apologize.
can you refresh the browser? It's some sort of internet problem. Wow.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
You can see everything? Very odd.
You can copy URL and exit page, and then refresh again and paste again. It will work.
So just exit.
First, copy URL, and then exit. Yeah. Okay.
And I'll probably close this. Okay. Oh, great. Thank you for the tip. Great.
Sure.
Great. And so next is trac, which is another free and open source software. And so it has very similar list of items. So on the left, it shows a list of active tickets, which is a similar view to Bugzilla. And then when you click on each issue, you will see something like this. So you can make comments and add attachments. And this is actually, this system is used at my current company. And so it's some things are a little bit difficult. For example, in order to put attachments, you have to do this individually, and then it's a little bit cumbersome compared to say Asana that I'm more used to, where you can so it's more user friendly compared to this one. And actually also it takes, like I said, it takes technical expertise to set it up, but you can use SQL queries and all kinds of other tools and plugins to make it more user friendly. And so next I will move to Asana and Jira. So, and unlike trac and Bugzilla, those are commercial. And just to show you pricing for Asana, so it's free for up to 15 people, but then it gets $11 a month for premium, $25 a month for business. And actually, when it's billed, that price is when it's billed annually, and if it's billed monthly, it's quite a bit steeper. So, and actually free Asana comes with a lot of features, including, so it's unlimited projects, tasks, activity log, storage, which is really impressive actually, because you will see that Jira has limited storage for both basic and premium plans. And for Asana, so basically there are three project views. It's board, which is commonly used, as well as list and calendar views. And it offers basic workflows, basic reporting, and security essentials. And just to go over this just in a little bit more detail. So there is actually 100 megabyte file size limit, which is quite high. And like I said, unlimited storage space. And you can make have as many projects, as many tasks, as many comments as, so it's completely unlimited in for even in the free version. So it's actually quite generous, and it offers basic workflows and a lot of integration and good security. And then Asana is meant for more than 15 team members. And actually, interestingly, it's up to 100 members, which is compared to, I believe, let me just look at the price here. So you will see that Jira pricing is, so it will work up to 35,000 users in their the paid version. So it's actually, and interestingly enough, in Asana, it's only up to 100 members compared to 30,000. And the additional features that it offers is timeline view, custom fields, advanced reporting, forms rules, task dependencies, and advanced search. But yeah, in one of my companies, we actually used Asana free version, and it offered, we found that it offered enough features, and it was super, super useful and actually used for development. And just to show you what it looks like, so it's a board with, so you can make any columns that you want, and then you just you can click into any issue, and each issue you will be able to make unlimited comments, post screenshots, and then you can really access it all at the fingertips. And you can set up custom email notifications, which is super convenient. And you can get messages in Asana itself. Yeah, so it has actually lots of different features. And then it's very convenient to view in the list, which is more similar to the screens that I showed before. The Bugzilla and trac don't offer the board view. They just have this list view, and list view here can be, it's just like, it's more compact. And again, you can sort everything by tasks. So we're going to move to Jira. And so I already actually went over the pricing. And it offers, so free version offers 2 gigabytes of storage, and standard offers 250 gigabytes, versus, again, Asana surprisingly offers unlimited storage. And maybe it's one of the reasons why it's more expensive. And so I want to emphasize that Jira is specifically designed for agile development. So what is agile development? So we will go a little bit into it, because it's really important for software development. So basically, there are 2 project management methodologies, waterfall and agile. So waterfall is has a linear approach, and basically, to describe it, so it's something like measure 7 times, then cut once. So it's used in construction, because at first, basically, an architect has a very detailed, very rigid plan according to which a building will be built, and then basically the building will be built. So it's good for projects where the requirements are well defined, and the end product is expected to remain the same during the project. And the reason why it's called the waterfall is that it goes in this way: requirements, design, implementation, verification of testing, and deployment and maintenance, very rigid set steps. But actually, in the real world of software development, it works a little bit different, and there are continuous changes and continuous cycle of planning, analysis, implementation, and evaluation. And not surprisingly, waterfall is a much older methodology, and it was originated in 1976, actually, in construction, like I said. And agile was originated in 2001 and specifically meant for software development. And its features are adaptability and flexibility, and delivering software in small increments. And 2 specific agile methodologies are Scrum and Kanban, and I'm going to go into them later. So basically, there's this constant cycle of planning, design, developing, testing, deployment, review, launching. And the quote, instead of measure 7 times, then cut once, for waterfall, for agile, it's fire, then aim. It can be put that way. And then 4 key agile values are individuals and interactions over processes and tools, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, responding to change over following a plan, and working software over comprehensive documentation. So, and basically the focus is on delivering the highest value features and responding to changing requirements as they arise, rather than sticking to a rigid plan. So Agile is definitely the way to go in software development. And yeah, it's very, very popular. So there are two specific Agile methodologies, Scrum and Kanban. And Scrum is structured and iterative, versus Kanban is continuous. So it's represented by continuous flow. So let's go quickly over Scrum. So it's structured and iterative. By iterations, I mean, so the main feature of Scrum is sprints, which is regular fixed length periods, typically 2 weeks, but they can also be 1 week. And Scrum is specifically designed to track progress within a sprint and complete the sprint goal. And it's very structured, and Scrum has specific principles, roles, ceremonies, and artifacts. And 4 pillars of Scrum is sprints, sprint planning, daily stand-ups, and sprint retrospectives, review. So there is this basically frequent inspection, one of the principles. Daily scrums or stand-ups or stand-up meetings I held to track progress and unblock members of the team if needed. And then there are principles or tools such as backlog, roadmap, custom workflows, boards. A swim lane is just a column basically that you can put in a board, custom column, and just move it from to do to in progress to done. And of course, projects. And there are different issue types that are often used in Scrum. So basically it's bug, user story, epic, coffee runs, surprisingly, and then, all kinds of custom types and fields. And there are roles, specific roles in Scrum, and that is product owner, Scrum master, and development team. And Scrum values are courage, focus, commitment, respect, and openness. So this is very structured and iterative, and based on this, this sprints and procedures and ceremonies, what they called. And Kanban is actually, it's much less structured, and it's much more flexible approach and based on continuous flow. So basically, it's continuous delivery of a product and workflow optimization, flexible processes, team collaboration. And the focus is on continuous delivery and work in progress. So changes can be made at any time, versus in sprint planning, in Scrum, changes are made between the 2 sprints. So it's different. And again, processes in Kanban are flexible, so there are no required roles or ceremonies, and the whole team owns the board. And then it's based on visualizing the workflow. So there's a visual board to track work in progress. And to give you a little cartoon to see the origination actually of the terms. So Scrum is a term from football. Or actually, is it soccer? I can't even tell. But basically,
it's rugby.
Oh, it's rugby. Okay, and what it means, it's restart the game. So basically, you have sprint after restart and sprint, restart and sprint. So that's where the word Scrum came from. And Kanban is a word that originated in Japan, and actually was used first in Toyota manufacturing. And it was this visual board to see the status and the cards. So it looked exactly like that. And then so the board will look more like this. Okay. So let me just show you an actual Scrum board. And so you will see all these features on the left, such as backlog, reports, releases, components, issues, code repository, which is very, very important. So there's this integration. And then these are the typical swim lanes or columns, and you can click on any card here, and it will show you all the details about the product. Actually, very much like an Asana, but again, the difference in Jira is that it's structured around agile development, and it's all about completing sprints, and there are lots of options that are targeted to that specifically. And so this is a Kanban board, and you will see that actually it looks similar to Scrum, but the difference is in methodology mostly again. So it doesn't have this rigid structure that is prescribed in Scrum boards. Okay, so finally, it's actually time to make some conclusions. So Bugzilla and trac are free and open source bug and issue tracking tools for software development, and it's great for the teams that actually are like free and open source tools. And Bugzilla is much more popular than trac, and it's very feature rich, and again it continues to be used by many famous open source projects, including Linux. And so in contrast, Jira and Asana are commercial software and very popular project management tools. And Jira is less expensive than Asana. So it's $7.50 a month per user versus $11 for Asana, at least 11 or even more if built monthly. And Asana is more of a general purpose project management tools, and also used by many development teams, and it can be used for a wide range of projects and even industries. And it's praised for its user-friendly interface and intuitive design. It's very easy to set it up and to start it. And Jira is mostly widely used by software engineering, because it's designed specifically for software engineering needs, and it's focused on agile development and offers features that are directly related to a software development lifecycle. And then specific agile methodologies that I covered are, or actually there are only two specific agile methodologies. It's Scrum and Kanban. And actually, both are popular, effective, and widely used in software development. And Kanban is more flexible and focused on continuous delivery, and is well suited for teams that value flexibility and continuous improvement. On the other hand, Scrum is highly structured and specifically designed to track progress within a sprint and ensure that the team is working towards completing the sprint goal. And is better suited for teams that need structure and discipline to deliver working software in small increments, namely every 2 weeks, typically. And some teams use a combination of both methodologies, and it's sometimes referred to as Scrumban to get the best of both worlds. And finally, just some jokes. What do you call an Asana user who never completes their tasks? A downward-facing procrastinator, which of course refers to one of the most common yoga poses or asanas, which is downward-facing dog. And then a different Jira joke is, what's the difference between waterfall and agile? In waterfall, you drown. In agile, you sprint. Okay, so this concludes this presentation, and here are some links about the software that I just covered. Thank you very much for your attention, and thank you for the opportunity to give this presentation.
Wow. Well, it was very good. Thank you. Guys, any questions?
No, it was very good. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, nice demo. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I would love to give a special thanks to Lev, who's been a truly amazing mentor and just like super kind and helpful in everything, but particularly in this presentation. And
Yeah.
thank you for the opportunity to present.
Come on. But what I really like that it makes things so clear. Like after you listen to this presentation, now I know we'll have now the video to give others so they'll know. Okay, good. Andy, hi. Let me stop the recording just a second.